Alright, I have to make another video about the Z Fold2. I've now been using this for a month, and in my last video, which was my full review, I declared it a success. I said that this is the ultimate hobbyist phone, and I didn't get into everything that I wanted to get into, so I'm going to add on to that, but also give some initial impressions, plus some reasons why this is absolutely worth $2,000 right now in 2020. By 2022, 2023, a phone like this will not be $2,000. There'll probably be another $2,000 phone, but in order to get into the hands of everyday consumers, people who don't want to spend $2,000 on a phone, maybe they're at the $1,000 or lower price point, it's going to take the adoption of hobbyists like me, consumers that can afford it, and maybe people who just want to experiment and see what it's all about and try something new. Those are three categories that are just, they don't make up the majority of shoppers or anywhere near that, okay? We all know that's true. So embracing technology like this, even from a distance, is important, because if you eventually want to get your hands on something like this and for financial reasons or use case reasons you feel like, this isn't for me, it's good that these things exist. It gives other people who can afford it or who have enough interest in it to take a chance financially, it gives them an opportunity to buy it, give feedback to the manufacturer, and then ultimately the manufacturer can increase production and build something that's more affordable for everybody else and potentially not jeopardize quality. With that being said, here's a few more reasons why I think the Z Fold2 is absolutely worth the money. Again, if you can afford it and you fit into a use case like mine, which is, I feel like my phone is the most important computer that I own, and I want something that's amazing and awesome, and I want something that is easier to use. So we'll dive into more of that justification as we dig into this. So the very first thing is that this actually works. That might sound bizarre, but I had a Surface Duo for a period of time, and it didn't really work. There were a bunch of software glitches, and I know that's been improved to a degree, but even still, now there's physical breakdown of the chassis. There's reports of that, and Microsoft's addressing it, I hope. The Surface Duo didn't work, and there's really nothing else to compare these to. So, okay, it works. Most apps scale. When you have it unfolded, most apps scale, and they work great. In fact, they're better when the phone is unfolded. You get more space. Typing is more comfortable. You can see better. And an experience like this with a nearly 7-inch display and 120 frames per second, 120 hertz, so easy on your eyes. You know, you remember, you know what it's like. You're probably doing it right now. You're on your phone, you got to go like this, and more like in this mode. And the comfort that I get physically with my hands when I'm using the phone unfolded is second to none. Using Instagram, Microsoft Edge browser, texting, every single core app that I've used in the last 10 years since smartphones have been around are better when this phone is unfolded. Which raises the question, well, what about when it is folded? Here's something that I'm finding. It's not all beautiful. It's not all perfect. But for the most part, I feel like holding the phone like this, the candy bar format, this is safer. So when you're holding any other phone, here's the case for a Note 20 Ultra. So look at my hand, okay? Look at the distance there. Now compare it to this. There's so much more surface area for my fingers to be on something this narrow versus something like this. And I know the Note 20 is a bit of an exaggeration, plus this is a case so it's even wider than the Note 20, but this is the best I have for comparison at the moment. When you're holding this phone in candy bar format, I have average size hands, it's way more secure. I haven't dropped this at all, and I feel like this is a more secure way to hold the phone. And that may seem like I'm nitpicking and trying to find some way to glorify the phone, but you're going to be using it like this often. I certainly am. I use it more in candy bar mode than I do unfolded, probably 55 to 45. And that's because I'm in front of my PC a lot. But for example, yesterday I was in line at a store for half an hour. Guys, boom. I'm on this thing, I'm on Twitter, I'm doing my thing. I'm an observer on Twitter, I don't actually have an account. I'm reading, I'm doing my thing, and I'm doing it completely unfolded. It's amazing. It's like I was walking around with a tablet. It was great. I mean, it basically was. But again, back to this, doing little things like texting, it's not as comfortable. So that's what I mean by it's not perfect. It's not as comfortable to text in candy bar mode as it is on any other standard phone. Also, it's a slippery phone. I have a skin on it because I can't find a case that I like. I've tried a bunch of cases. I've watched videos from other reviewers, and no one seems to be super happy with cases. Part of the problem is that in order to get a case on the front part, you have to use adhesives. It can't really like click on. There's just not enough room. So that's a problem. And because the case will kind of pop up and down because the adhesives aren't good. Even if they were good, I found that the cases I tested were obscuring with my ability to use the gestures, which I'm a big fan of gestures. So yeah, not perfect with cases. So with the skin, even with this particular skin from Soapy Guard, it's just, it's still a little too slippery. So I've got to work on my skin game and find something that's a little more grippy. But yeah, that's a problem. So not absolutely perfect. Final point is the battery life. I'm getting 2 days. Almost, okay, day and a half. So like right now I'm at 51%. I haven't charged it since yesterday, probably mid-morning, because I didn't charge it the night before that either. So you get way better battery on this than on, say, the Note 20 Ultra because of that front display. Using the front display is 60 hertz and it's smaller, it uses less battery. So then when you, at least for me, when I switch midday and I'm done with work or whatever, and I'm using the phone mostly unfolded, this is sucking a lot of juice for sure, but at that point in time, I'm like, normally I'd be at like 65% or something by the time I get to the 5 o'clock in the evening. So, okay, I know this is a lot to digest, and there's still the hurdle of $2,000, but believe me when I tell you, I'm not suggesting that every phone come 2022, 2023 is going to be folded. What I will tell you is, just like Samsung has the Note line, it's a specialty line, it's a little more expensive. Actually, that's not true anymore. It used to be a little more expensive, and it used to have everything including the kitchen sink in it as far as newest, latest, greatest tech. That was a line of phones that was very popular. There will be a line of foldable phones, probably from other manufacturers, not just Samsung, at the $1,000 to $1,500 price category. It's going to be more accessible for people. There's going to be a category of people walking around with foldable phones, and they're going to be using those phones for a bunch of different productivity reasons, just like me. Now, there's a big rumor that this Fold 3 is going to have S Pen support. If that's true, I'm switching right away, because that's the one thing I do miss is the ability to write. Although I do have a Samsung tablet I use for writing, and the experience is 10 to 1 better on the tablet than it is on the Note phones, because the pen is bigger, but then I have to carry 2 devices. So this has already been, I'm using my tablet less because of this. I could potentially completely replace my tablet if I had an S Pen that was compatible. All right, I hope you found this helpful. I'm gonna try to do some more videos on the Z Fold 3, but I got a bunch of laptops I have to review, so I'm gonna work on those. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope this was helpful. Cheers.